All right, we're back with another hotly anticipated movie.
Hotly anticipated? Highly anticipated?
Whatever. You know what I meant. The trailers for this have been everywhere on social media or cable TV, if you still watch that. My parents do, so I've been seeing the trailers when they watch.
Cable?
Yeah.
I assumed it would
So
be.
so this is a big blockbuster. I mean, I think you said Tom Cruise was marketing it as such.
He was saying the blockbuster is back. And I agree. I think he was right.
Yeah,
I think he made
cool.
a perfect blockbuster film that I haven't seen anything quite like it or quite as exciting as this
Yeah.
in a while. So
That's our tease for the review. We both really liked it. This was really fun. It was a really good movie.
So shout out Tom Cruise.
Yeah, shout out Tom Cruise for getting this like sequel made 40 years later. It's pretty freaking good. I'm exhausted.
A little bit late. Yeah. Nick, you want to explain what you were doing last night?
Yeah, I had a couple people over and it was 9:00 at night.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided, hey, we're gonna start watching Stranger Things, the new season. And
Why did you start it at 9:00?
I don't know. I'm not very smart.
You guys
I'm
just plan
not
to
very
start
smart.
start it late. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not very smart. So
No,
we got going. We got 5 episodes in, and we were like, you know what? There's only 7 episodes. Let's just keep going. But each episode was like north of an hour. So like
Yeah,
an hour
all
plus.
over an hour. Every single one of them.
So yeah, I was up until like 6:30 in the morning. I got like a few hours of sleep, and then got up at 10:30 to go do something else, and that's where I'm at. And I haven't slept since.
It's
But
okay.
I surprisingly feel okay. I feel a little tired, so
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm a little groggy.
I pulled an all-nighter for my trip back to California, and I felt fine. Which, I mean, I know you and I have both pulled all-nighters before, and
Yep.
usually you feel fine, right?
Just that day, yeah.
Yeah,
But
for
then
that
you
day.
crash eventually, and
At some point, yes. So
That's
you're
coming.
still feeling good. You're just waiting for that crash.
Yeah, that's kind of why I wanted to get started recording. We were gonna call in our other friend to be a guest, Jay. He saw the movie early. He's a part of the Ohio State marching band, and Tom Cruise after they did a Top Gun show.
A Top Gun themed show. Yeah, they did.
I
like
believe this
formations.
previous football season, the marching band did a Top Gun show. Tom Cruise said, or someone on his PR team said, "Oh, I'll bring a special screening for you," and I think somewhere in there he promised he would be there.
Yeah,
And he was
Tom
not.
Cruise.
Tom Cruise didn't show up to this screening. There was a special early screening like a week early, so our friend got to see it a week early, which is cool.
Uh-huh.
But Tom Cruise wasn't there.
Come on, Tommy.
Yeah. But I'm glad he got to see it a week early. And I
Right.
think he even undersold it the way I don't know what he told you. I don't know what Jay told you, but I think he undersold how good this movie really was. The movie was really good.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, they kind of do some stuff, and I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody. That's why I'm trying to just underplay even what he said.
Yeah.
But he was like, yeah, they kind of do some stuff, and then it calls back to some of the stuff from the first movie, and I was like, okay, so I'm not expecting this to be great. And he was like, it's not gonna be great. It was good, but it's not great. But I think he undersold it. I think this was a great film.
This is in a high tier for this type of movie for me. Like this is one of the better action adventure. You know, it's sort of cheesy, but like it's sort of cheesy, sort of predictable. Not the like most complicated plot, but like very, very well done, like across the board.
So yeah, shout out Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise and the rest of the crew.
Yeah. Your mom, if she is like, you know, in the age range of when this movie released, like when they were younger, you know, I feel like my mom, I don't know about your mom, but my mom definitely saw this movie as
I'm pretty sure my
Top
parents-
Gun, the original, was a big thing back in the day.
I'm pretty sure my parents saw it.
Yeah, and your mom probably thought at one point that Tom Cruise was hot. So I think you should take your mom.
He's still a good-looking guy.
He's a great-looking guy. Yeah, he
Even
is.
as a straight male, I will admit that.
No, he's a great-looking guy.
He still is a great-looking
I think this
guy.
is a great movie for moms. That was all I was going to say. I don't know where I was going with that, but
Thanks, Nick.
it's a great movie for moms.
Actually,
yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, this isn't spoiling anything, but the original love interest from the first film from 84, 86?
I think it's 86.
Whatever it was.
I think
it was
it up
86.
real quick.
The original, she was Penny, right? That's her name?
Yes.
The original actress, she did not come back for this film.
She didn't?
No. The lady who the blonde from 1986.
Yeah.
She didn't play this. That wasn't her.
Are you sure?
Yeah. There was an interview, or somebody asked her "Oh, are you back from
Yeah,
Top
why
Gun?"
didn't she?
They didn't call her. They didn't ask for her to return. And she openly said she's like, "That's okay. I'm cool with it."
I noticed that too. I was like,
She didn't look the same, right? It's because it was somebody else.
Yeah.
Somebody asked her. I don't know. I don't remember the details about it, but somebody asked her if they asked her to come back. She said no. She said that they were looking more for somebody younger, or who at least looks a bit younger than she does.
It was Jennifer Connelly in this movie. Jennifer Connelly's not super old.
No.
She's not super young either. I mean, she's still hot.
But the original actress, she was like, yeah, Hollywood, they're looking for beautiful people, and she's like, I don't think I'm in that anymore, but I'm glad for whoever. Which, I don't know. What do you think about that? I wish they brought her back.
I think it would have been cool to bring her back.
Even though she said she kind of didn't feel the need that she would come back if they called her. But
yeah, Jennifer Connelly was good in this movie, though.
No, she wasn't bad. She was still good.
So, I don't...
But after seeing the first one...
It's hard for me to, say the casting was bad in this one when I liked the casting in this one. Penny wasn't, super... even just that casting specifically. Penny wasn't, super... Yeah, she was good. I liked her a lot. I thought the, dynamic was... The chemistry was there between the two of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
You're cool with it?
I'm cool with it. Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for the original actress if she wanted to be in it and they were just kind of no, you're too old. But I mean, that's that's the industry, and so
that's kind of what she was
okay
alluding to.
It.
She's like, yeah, that's kind of just how it is, and I don't think I need to be back in it. And I was like, well,
I'm trying to find the name. By the way, it is 1986. I'm trying to find the name of the original Penny. I cannot find it though.
Top Gun 1986.
Yeah, I looked it up, but.
Top Gun 1986. Oh, it says it right there.
She's not in... Okay, no, she's not in... It's a different... Penny's a different character.
It's not this lady?
It's not... Penny's a different character than the love interest in the first movie. Penny is only mentioned by name in the first movie, I guess. I don't know.
Wait.
This is on... Wait. It's on the Top Gun wiki. That's what it says.
Wait. So this was not the same lady?
No, it's a different character.
I thought this was the same love interest from the first movie.
Yeah, I did too. I mean, you and I are not Top Gun nerds, so we didn't know this, but yeah, we're figuring this out.
Okay, well then I'm sorry. So they didn't replace her.
They didn't. Well, they did.
Well, they replaced
more
the
or
character.
Less, yes, more or less. They were like, yeah, you're not hot enough anymore. Let's bring a new character in to be his love interest because
but it's not like they. You remember Batman Begins and Dark Knight.
Yeah.
What was her name? I'm so sorry. I'm forgetting her name.
I can look at it.
The love interest for Bruce Wayne Batman.
Then Jake Gyllenhaal's sister came in.
Maggie Gyllenhaal comes in.
Maggie Gyllenhaal came in the second movie. She had some scandal or something, or
No, she had a different role. Just a different.
She had a different role.
The original actress had just a different role come up, and she didn't have time.
All right. Well,
but Maggie Gyllenhaal did good, and everybody liked Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Honestly, I think that recast helped the movie. And I don't know if this...
Yeah,
maybe it did help the movie here. I think Jennifer Connelly was good enough in this movie. She was really good. I want to make that clear. That casting probably helped propel this movie more so than if they would have just gone nostalgia trip, because...
That's true.
That's all they would have had if they would have brought back the original love interest. It's just yes, the music's all the same, and I think that's hard with sequel 40 years later. It's how much do you lean into the nostalgia of the cultural phenomenon that this movie was,
right.
That Top Gun 1986 was,
right?
So I'm okay with it.
Did you like how they basically reskinned the film?
What do you mean?
Well, actually, I don't know if this spoils anything. Let's first give a plot synopsis, and then I'll mention that question again.
You want me to do the plot?
Sure.
It's pretty simple.
You got it. It is simple, but
yeah.
You got it.
We start off with seeing... There's a nice montage with Danger Zone, and then you just
like that?
I did like that. I liked them leaning into the music and the nostalgia stuff with that. But anyway, the plot is Tom Cruise is sort of still 40 years later mourning the death of
his
Goose.
wingman?
Yeah, his wingman Goose.
Is it Wingman?
I think wingman, whatever. Yeah,
I don't remember the terms.
That's
sorry.
whatever. His friend and whatever best friend Goose. Whatever. Yeah, Goose that died in the first one, which we talked about in our Top Gun review, which we thought was weird. But I don't know. We liked Goose, so I thought it was fine.
We did like Goose.
And he's still Maverick. You know, he hasn't progressed in his career at all, but he's just loves flying these crazy fighter jets, and he's, you know, just doing insane shit. And then you see, and then he like gets dispatched to, I don't remember why really. It was just like he just needed to go to the Top Gun school to instruct on a new mission. So there's a new mission. He's gonna go be the instructor for like highly dangerous mission to like destroy a nuclear plant somewhere.
The Russians, I'm pretty sure.
It's the same enemy as
even though they just
original.
it's the same enemy. They just won't say it's the Russians.
Yeah, they won't say, but I think it's implied because of the terrain. Anyway, they have to execute this dangerous mission. One of the Top Gun pilots that's going to be on Tom Cruise's, or I'll say Maverick's crew, is Goose's son. And so there's a bunch of conflict with that. And that's basically it. That's the plot right there. He's back at his original post in Top Gun.
As a flight instructor.
As a flight instructor this time instead of as a student.
Right, and he's just trying to recruit people for the mission. Bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah, and train them. So the cool parts about this movie, I think it leans it was a healthy amount of leaning into the nostalgia. First of all, with the music, the goofy, cheesy stuff. You know, there was callbacks with like you kept looking over at me when there were like stupid little callbacks to things, like the sweaty men.
Oh yeah. We were just like, he's sweating.
Yeah, that was funny. Like
it was funny.
That was really like I liked the way they did it and the nod and everything. Like it was clearly leaning into it a healthy amount, but it didn't feel overdone to me. No. And it felt like this movie was still standing on its own. And then the other thing that was really cool, and I don't know, you and I know nothing about planes, but like all of these like shots of these planes were like legit. Like, I mean, I'm sure I know Tom Cruise was flying the plane sometimes, and I think the other actors were too, but like they got really cool shots of these planes, whoever was flying
which
them.
We're almost certain. I don't know if they shot this on film. I thought it was.
I don't know.
Because I could have sworn I saw a bunch of grain and noise moving throughout the film, but whatever the case, whatever they filmed practically looked good.
I think most of it was practical.
I'm pretty sure all of it
couldn't tell the difference.
Except for like the explosion scenes and things like that.
Sure.
Which I'm not sure if that was a mix of digital and film. If that was,
I'm sure it was. I'm sure.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of stuff is like that.
I don't know. This could have been shot digitally, but like regardless of what it was shot,
it's beautiful.
It was a really good looking film, and it was like, wow, like they got these fighter jets. They filmed for real in these fighter jets, like.
Yeah, Tom Cruise was trying to show the other actors and actresses how to film inside of the plane. I don't know how the hell that works.
But they made it work.
They did make it work.
And it works. It works really well.
All of the cockpit footage looks good.
Yeah.
He was explaining in some trailer for like, I was trying to show him what looks good for the camera, which the angles, which directions of the light. It looked good.
It looked great.
So shout out Tom Cruise.
Yeah, he's a madman for just wanting to do all of these stunts himself. But
wanting to fly these planes.
It's insane, and it's a big payoff. I think he landed it. My favorite thing from the original Top Gun was like the fight sequences, the dog fights. They're like significantly better in this movie.
I think this movie was what the original was trying to be, but they just have better technology and an actual like thought out plan. Yeah,
the dogfights were just riveting in this movie. Like you could follow it way better than the first one, and it was great. It was just fantastic. Yeah,
I was super excited watching this whole movie. I was like, oh, it's not going to be that good. And then there was a lot of emotion, which I really liked. The other one lacked a lot of emotion.
Goose dies. Or it felt more superficial.
Yeah, like Goose dies, and then like they just never mentioned it.
Yeah.
And we weren't even sure he died until somebody finally goes, yeah, he's dead. And we were like, okay.
Yeah, I remember them mentioning it and sort of just moving on very quickly.
Where this one, they have some weight to what happens to people or what could happen to people. Maverick, he like will allude to obviously the death of Goose. And talk about like, well,
that's a big part of the story.
Yeah, he's like, if this person dies, it's on you, and you have to explain it to their family.
Yeah,
and I thought it hit pretty well.
I agree. I think the original, I don't know how much it was trying to do that, but I don't think that stuff landed in the original for me. But
I don't think they tried
in
very
this
hard.
one, in this one it did. I think all the new characters were great too. Like there were some really likable new characters that like, and I don't know. I think that's something I want to talk about more. Or not even just talk about. Just mention how good it is. It's hard to do a sequel 40 years later without leaning into the nostalgia. And I've sort of already talked about this with the marketing. 100% they're leaning into it. Like all the new characters. Like who's the new guy? What's his name? He was in that Fantastic Four movie. He's in Ready Player One.
Miles Teller.
Miles Teller is great.
He's good. I saw him in War Dogs. I really liked that.
John Hamm was great too.
I don't remember what else I've seen Miles Teller in.
John Hamm was great as the new like general. Like all the new characters were great.
I didn't like the Admiral guys. They kind of irked me a little bit.
I think that was intentional.
They were good castings.
Yeah.
If that was their intended purpose, good for them. They did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody was good.
Everyone was really good. Overall though,
I can say there wasn't any awkward pauses, no extra film used like the first film where just like random shots between like a conversation would just drag on for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
None of that happened here.
Yeah, it was much tighter.
I'm glad if they listened to our podcast and put that into the editing right before this film came out. Good for you guys.
Every goofy Tom Cruise smile felt like it was necessary in this movie.
Yes.
In this one, in the original, it did not feel like that.
But there were also some of those like stone cold expressions for absolutely no reason in the first one.
That's true.
Just by accident. I think they were by accident. Unless if it was intentional. Whatever.
I don't know.
Whatever
it may be, overall, we were both pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Like very, very pleasantly surprised.
So do you recommend this film?
Absolutely. I think you could take the whole family to see this. Take your friends, like, you know, whatever. Great movie. Go see it. It's a really fun time, and you don't even need to have seen the original to still get enjoyment out of this. I think.
No,
I think if you have seen the original, you'll appreciate the callbacks, but
outside of that, you really don't need it.
You don't. It's
really
not
good. Any Marvel. Everything builds on itself or on each other. It's really just its own story, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is. I think this movie deserves any hype that it's been getting, even if that's like manufactured hype through marketing.
Yeah,
but it definitely deserves it. I'm glad that this movie got made. Do you want to give it a score?
Give it a score. So I'll mention my issues with it when we get into the spoilers. Personally, I asked you what you were thinking first, right when we got in the car. We were thinking it's pretty high end. This is a high end movie.
Yeah.
This was probably going to get a good score from you. I know I'm going to give it above an 8. I think like an 8.3, 8.4 is probably where I'm going to put this.
Okay. Are you going to decide on one?
Wait. Actually, I'll go 8.6. Honestly,
wow.
I really enjoyed this movie.
Okay.
I had a lot of fun watching it.
Absolutely.
There definitely are issues with some of it, which we'll explain. But other than that, if you can suspend some disbelief, it's a good film. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and it's somewhat believable for the most part too. So
yeah, it's like grounded in reality enough that you're just like, wow, cool. And then when Tom Cruise starts doing insane shit in the plane, you're like, you know, whatever. But like, it's cool. Like, it still looks cool, and they like stick to their guns, and it works.
Yeah. So, what do you want to give it, Nick?
I'm gonna go 8.2.
Really?
Yeah.
You weren't certain about giving it an 8 in the car.
I wasn't. I was like, this is. Right now I'm like high 7s, low 8s, and just thinking about it more, like there was nothing that I didn't like enough that I just hated it or it really knocked it down for me. Like, this is, I think action, like movies like this have a ceiling sort of for me. Like, I don't know, it would be really, really hard for like an action movie like
you mean
this
like
one,
mindless action,
like mindless blockbuster action to like bleed into a 9 for me. It'd be really hard, but like this is one of the better ones that I've ever seen.
Okay,
so I'm gonna give it, I'm gonna give it into the 8s because I highly recommend this. This is a really good movie. This is a really, really good movie. So I'm gonna give it an 8.2.
This is definitely one of the top 3 or 4 movies that we've just recently seen that I would definitely recommend to people.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I think this, of movies that are still playing in theaters, this and Everything Everywhere, if you have time, and Everything Everywhere is still playing some places.
How about Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent?
I don't think that's showing much. That one's really good, but I don't think it's showing right now? Yeah, I think its theater run might have come to an end already for most places.
Damn. Well,
I know Everything Everywhere.
If you can see it, go see it. Everything Everywhere. I know they've got a big push right now with media hype, word of mouth. Yeah. Everything's still going. So
go see that. Go see that, and go see Top Gun. I think both of them are worth a watch at the movie theater. All right. What are your gripes with it, spoiler related? You were saying the reskinning.
These
what
are
did you mean by that?
Somewhat.
Yeah, somewhat spoilers. I mean, there's not really that much to spoil that would ruin the enjoyment. But
not too much, but they definitely. Okay, I'll mention this, and I'll elaborate later. I feel like they're trying to almost set up another movie.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's going to be with the character Hangman. He played like the same exact role as Tom Cruise in the first movie. And then he comes and saves the day at the final end, exactly how Tom Cruise does.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not going to make any speculation here, but I'll elaborate on the other characters. Like Goose, we just reskinned him with Miles Teller. Miles Teller did great. Goose was fun in the first movie. No real problem there.
He was a deeper Goose though. He was a Goose with trauma, and I think Miles Teller like kind of nailed the character.
Yes,
I don't know. It felt like a reskinning, but it felt like a natural progression, at least for him. I'll hear what you think about the other ones.
Well, we learned that they just redid the love interest. So
yeah,
they kind of just reskinned that almost in a different way. It's not work related anymore. Love interest. It's more just like. He knows her, I guess, or he knew her from a while ago.
Yeah, just a friend or something.
Old friendship, whatever it is,
or a fling. I don't know.
There was someone admiral from like the first movie, I think, too, who was like, "No, Top Gun or Maverick, you're not doing this," and then like he just did it, and then they just brought back whoever it was for this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there are just a couple people who drew a bit similarly, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
it seemed a little bit borrowed, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I just think, I don't know, like something that keeps coming to mind when you say that to me is like Star Wars: The Force Awakens with A New Hope. I think it's a reskinning of A New Hope.
Yeah, just slightly.
I honestly
it's not as much of a reskin though. I will say that
it's not. Directly, but that still felt less original to me than this because this felt like a natural progression. Like the new love interest for Tom Cruise added depth to his character that I think was necessary.
Okay.
I think the new Admiral people, I don't know, they were pretty static characters, but like I don't know, they made sense for like the natural progression of things.
Sure.
So like that's why to me it was like I kind of knew they were doing that going in.
Yeah.
And it felt plausible within the story world. It just felt like, okay, we've got these characters who have grown 40 years, and Tom Cruise really hasn't grown. He's still
Tom Cruise.
He's still stuck in his Top Gun days. Yeah. So like, I don't know. For me, it didn't bother me as much because they didn't. I think they added the depth necessary to make them feel like new characters, and I think they did a really good job with it. Like for me, that wasn't a big gripe. I think. In general, the plot was just very simple, and that's my biggest gripe. It's just like, okay, you could have done something a little more interesting. It did feel a little bit like they were setting up for a sequel, which I didn't really love the way to end that.
I'm not sure. Maybe
I'm not sure either, but like it.
But I don't know. See,
I think it leaves the door open.
I thought, what's his name? Hangman. I said he was a reskin of Tom Cruise, but he was also like blatantly a reskin of Iceman.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the movie.
I liked the Val Kilmer cameo thing as well. That was good.
That was fun. That was good. Shout out Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
For coming back.
Yeah, poor guy. But honestly, those are my only. I mean, do you have any more gripes other than?
It's just like some of the plot just to drive it around. They were just like, I'm gonna risk my career. I'm gonna risk this for you, and it's like, nobody would ever do that in the real world.
Yeah.
Obviously, I understand
you gotta suspend some disbelief in this, yeah.
But like, you can't stick your neck out for somebody who's going to get a bunch of people possibly killed like 8 times. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. It is what it is.
And the beginning scene, actually, the beginning Mach 10 thing, like from the very first 2 minutes or whatever the movie, I understand they were trying to set up.
Did you just think that was a little too cheesy?
Yeah, it didn't. That plane had no business being in. Like the first plane had no business being in this movie.
He's the fastest man alive.
I liked that line. That line was kind of funny.
They were very like, to me. I liked that. It was goofy, but like they were just leaning into the like cheesiness and like it was a self-aware movie. I think that's what made it bleed into the 8 range for me.
Yeah,
they were self-aware of the cheese of the that they had established in the original, whereas
but they did it better.
They did it. They did everything better than the original.
Yes,
everything was better. Even the story, which is my biggest gripe, was better than the original. I think, like it was. Yes. It was more engaging for sure.
I remember we were on our phones at points in time watching the first movie where. We were in a theater. That's the difference. But like, yeah, we felt engaged. I think for the most part,
they just didn't do as good of a job of keeping your attention in the story in the first one.
Yeah,
but yeah, this is a great movie. We've been going for a while now. I think that's enough. Sure. We'll be back. Probably we'll be back with a Pirates review is gonna come out. I'll just spoil that now, just to get the tease. The Depp Heard decision from the jury is going to come in at some point, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday maybe. So we'll have our Pirates review right after that comes in.
Yeah, they're done presenting cases.
Yeah, they concluded on Friday. Okay. So we'll have Pirates next week sometime, probably Thursday or Friday, and then we'll have, I think, the week after that, one more new release, and then we'll have a couple of rewinds. But we can get into that more when that comes. But yeah, thank you for listening. Go see Top Gun. We both recommend it. That's all I've got. Anything you want to leave them with, Nico?
Poop, poop, pee, pee.
Poop, 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 pee, pee in the bed.
Yep.
The bed.
Yep.
The bed.